Wow. Hi, people. Sudden hints of wealth, because I'm gonna be talking about money in today's video. And not in a grind set way, okay? Today's video is a little bit silly, because I have like a really like scripted, produced video coming out soon. Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be about Papa Louie. Like the Papa's like Maria franchise. Get ready, it's gonna be great. But we're just gonna be a little bit more silly today. And we're gonna be like ranking things that I want based on like how rich and or evil you need to be like how rich and or evil I need to be able to afford these things. So the tier list is as follows, right? We have like me at the bottom. Will that mean? But like me at the bottom, like things that I could literally just buy right now, and I'm just not. But I could, like, if I wanted, like, I think one of the things on here is literally just gum. If I wanted gum, I could go buy that right now, you know? Like, I have enough money to be able to go buy gum, you know? The next tier is average Joe, right? Like, the average, like, human adult who has a job will be able to afford this. I don't have a job, so... yeah. Then above that we have my parents. Things that my parents would be able to afford, like they could buy like a karaoke machine, for example, right? And then we have my parents' evil, right? So that's that my parents could buy with the money that they have right now, but only would if they were evil or eviler. Yeah. And then we have millionaire neutral, which is like stuff you could buy if you are a millionaire, and then we have millionaire evil, which is stuff you could buy if you were a millionaire and also evil. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then at the top we have billionaire. That's sort of always automatically gonna be evil and right, yeah. So yeah. So we're ranking a bunch of things based on how rich you need to be to get each of these things. And yes, I'm gonna be typing on my computer in the meantime, okay? Also, I'm in my bed instead of my usual setup at my desk because my cat is sleeping on my chair. I don't want to disturb her, okay? Let her sleep. She needs it. Again, I'm filming sort of like late at night, so it's really kind of, the background is a little bit like disturbing and a little bit scary, at least to me, but that's okay. Also, I look like yellow because this lamp is yellow, so I don't need red. Thank you. Anyway, something of strong, we have Dalmatian. I want a Dalmatian. I really want a Dalmatian. Now, how rich we need to do this to have this? I think my parents could afford a Dalmatian. But we're not really a dog family. I don't really like dogs. I just want a Dalmatian because they're kind of cool and chic. So I'm gonna put this in my parents because I feel like they could afford that. And then next up, again with we're doing another animal. Here is a stork. I really want a stork as a pet. This one, like I just think they're such cool like creatures that are sort of like gross. Like they're so like leggy. And that's kind of scary. But I like them a lot. So I'm putting those probably because like they're like you can't buy them, you know, you can't, that's illegal to like buy them. So you probably have to like pay a lot of money to do it, you know, illegally. And then also like you really shouldn't keep them as pets. So I'm gonna put this in millionaire evil because you used to be a little bit evil and also rich. Which those two do go hand in hand quite often, as we'll see as we progress. Right. Stay class conscious, people, please. Thank you. Then next we have gum. And it was more meant to be like an endless supply of gum. Like how, like it's basically I just wrote a bunch of things down that I want, and then I was like, if I was rich, I would want these things. And so yeah, an endless supply of gum. I think I could afford that if I like just buying gum like once a week. I could afford that. I just don't do it because I feel like it's a waste of money. But so I'm gonna put that in me because I do feel like I could afford that. I just don't. I just stopped doing that. It's bad. Okay, next up is just like beverages. Like I just want to always have soda. around me. You know what I mean? Like I always want to be able to like just grab a can of Pepsi if I want to, right? I always want there to be beverages around me and available to me at all times. And I feel like my parents could have, I think like the average Joe could actually probably afford that to like drink a Pepsi a day, you know? Pepsi's Pepsi.
My favorite kind of Pepsi? Pepsi's Pepsi.
Yeah, I'll put in that one. I think. Well, that depends because like average Joe in what country? Right. No, I do feel like the average Joe could afford this. And then next we have pistachios. I just really like pistachios and I just want a lot of them all the time. You know, like in America, they have those like gigantic bags of just like 20 pounds of like chips or some shit, right? 3 pounds of like peanuts, right? I want that, but with the pistachios, right? And nuts are really fucking expensive. Nuts are so expensive. Just nuts are so expensive, and pistachios are like exotic too, you know, so they're like extra expensive. But I really like pistachios a lot. So yeah, but I don't know how rich you need to be to have like a trillion pistachios. I'm gonna put this in millionaire neutral because I feel like pistachios are really expensive, and if you just were to always constantly at all times have pistachios lying around, you would need to be like a millionaire, right? And I don't know, maybe I should put them in evil because like I live in Europe and I'm pretty sure pistachios grow in like Asia, and so like if you think about it, it's like pretty bad for the environment for them to be transported from there to here. But I'm not gonna look at it in that angle because then everything is evil, right? And everything is evil, but let's not touch on that right now. I don't really have the energy to get philosophical. What? 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 I don't really have the energy to get philosophical right now, so I'm not gonna. Okay. Um. So it's going in millionaire neutral. Yeah. Next up, we have an IV drip. I don't. I put this list together like 2 weeks ago. I don't really know why I put IV drip there, but I did. So, IV drip. I don't really know. I think this one is going in millionaire. Also, like, yeah, why do I want that? Great question. I don't know. I feel like I always forget to drink water because sometimes it's just like, oh my god, I have to drink water. It feels like a task, you know? And so if you had an IV drip, you'd always just be hydrated. You wouldn't even have to do anything. I don't really know what I was thinking when I put this on the list. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it was just like saw a TikTok about like people complaining about like rich people like buying like IV drips at like clinics, like health clinics, after a night out or some shit. And I was like, low-key, they got a point, you know? So I'm gonna put that in millionaire evil because you need to be rich to just like be able to buy an IV drip, I feel like, and also evil because you don't actually need it. At least, like in the case that I'm thinking of, I wouldn't actually need it. It would just be sort of like a thing that I did. Sure. Next we have just like being a frat boy. I really want to be a frat boy. I really want to be a frat boy. I really want to be 20 and at college at like fucking ASU or some bullshit. Oh my god, Clavicular getting frame mocked by ASU frat leaders. What if I was that frat leader who frame mocked Clavicular? What? New sentences are being uttered every day. Truly. What? So, right, I want to be a frat boy. I really want to be a frat boy. I want to get on a table and yell, if you aren't a brother, fucking a brother, leave, or whatever the fuck they say. I want to be a 20-year-old frat boy who is incredibly DL, but then also gets a lot of girls all the time. Like, I want to be just a ladies' man, right? Like, ran for Robbie, you know, but then also I'd be bisexual as fuck and get set of guys, but only in the DL. But like me and my like homies would fuck. And that's kind of my dream. So I feel like you need to be millionaire evil because frat boys are evil, right? And frat boys' parents are also always evil. So I'm gonna put it at that. Because I would also be okay with having a son who was a frat boy. But in that case, I would again need to be evil. So keep that in mind. And then next we have like an entire cake from the grocery store. I really just want to eat like an entire cake from the grocery store. That's kind of my dream. I really want to do that. So yeah. I could afford that. A cake from the grocery store, I could go buy that right now. I just don't. Like a lot of these are like things that I could afford, I guess. I just don't, because it's like a bad investment. You know what I mean? There's no return on this investment. What's the point? So, but I really have always wanted to just like eat an entire cake from like the grocery store, you know? That's just been a deal of finance since I was a little girl. So, but that one's going on me because I do feel like I could afford that. Next up is Mawam Happy Chews. Is that even what they're called? Yeah, it is. I just want like 80 kilos of those. They're so good. My favorite candy of all time. Like, for real. So that's going in my parents. I feel like they could afford that. It's just candy. So why aren't they buying endless amounts of candy for their favorite child? Me. That's crazy. They must not love me very much. So telling my parents, I really want that. I really want that. Like, when I become rich one day, which I will. I will. Hey, I will. I will. I will become rich one day. I'm gonna just be buying all of this stuff that, like, it's just, like, it's crazy how, like, yeah, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy me 80 kilos of, what are they called? Happy Chews. So, isn't that also, happiness is literally called Happy Chews. So obviously, if you chew it, you get happiness. It releases endorphins in your brain, right? You literally can't. I just hear people say that because you can. And then next is a milk dispenser. I've been like getting back into drinking milk lately, which is great because I'm vegetarian, so that's like a good way to get proteins, I feel like. Also, it tastes good. I used to like drink milk as a kid, of course, right? But then I feel like I sort of got grossed out at the thought of milk a few years ago, and I just or 8 years ago, and I just have not drunk milk since then. But now I'm getting back into it. I am, and I'm really enjoying it. I love milk. I love a good glass of milk. So I would really love to have like a water dispenser, but it's filled with milk instead. That would be wonderful. Just like in the corner of my room. But then, of course, if like the electricity like cuts out, it's not gonna be good, you know? But yeah, I would really want that. I would really like to have that. So that's probably gonna be in millionaire neutral. I don't think it's evil. I just want milk. Got milk? No, but I wish I did. Am I right, ladies? Okay. Next up is a hammock to like sleep in. I just really want a hammock to sleep in. I could very easily buy that. So it's going in me. But I'm not gonna buy it, and that's kind of the point, isn't it? Well, whatever. It's kind of the issue, right? Yeah. So I really want a hammock to sleep in. I think it'd just be fun. I would probably never actually do it, but I think it would just be nice to have a hammock, like in the corner of my room, kind of. I just don't have like room for it, is the thing. So, but if I was rich, I don't want. But it is going in me because I could it's just a hammock. I think we have a hammock in our basement. So, and then next is like a sensory hammock. I was thinking about hammocks a lot when I wrote this list. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Like one of those like sensory things where it's just like a whole big thing of like fabric that you just get it and you kind of swing around. I really want one of those. That's going in. My parents could probably buy that. Please. And then next up we have a Birkin bag. I really want a Birkin bag. I really want a Birkin bag. I could also just buy a dupe, but I probably will at some point. But those are also expensive. Everything's expensive. Everything is expensive. everything is expensive. And it like takes time to find things that are still good quality but also cheap. Like it takes time. You have to like scour eBay and scour Vinted. It's just so much easier to buy from Shein, so I get why people do it. I do understand. I get it, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, Birkenback mats going in billionaire. Those things are fucking expensive. That's crazy. Are they even making them still? I don't think so. Also, I don't know what this picture is. Hold on. Sorry, there's a picture on this reading that I ranking tier list, whatever the fuck thing that I don't know what the hell is. Oh, it's pills. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god, we're falling. Okay. Anyway, where's the skip? We're gonna just skip that one. Next up is I wanna like learn every language in the world. If I was rich, I would spend all my time learning languages. I would like hire tutors and shit. Yeah, so that's going on my parents. No, it's going on millionaire neutral. Yeah. And the next up is the I would want to hire the super nanny for my kids. Actually, like I was just gonna put like a nanny. If I was rich and I had kids, I would not want to be taking care of them. Fuck. Like I always say that I want to be a parent, but I don't want to be a mom. Like I want to be a dad. I really want to be a dad. I really want to be a dad. I really want to be a dad. That would be so wonderful. Can I just be a dad? That'd be great. um, but if I were a mom, I would not take care of my kids myself. I would hire a nanny. And in this case, I would hire the super nanny. And also, what's she up to lately? What's she been doing? How is she? It's always where super nanny and never how is super nanny. Yeah, think about that. So that's going in probably Millionaire Evil because I feel like you like super nanny only ever showed up and like like when kids are misbehaving there's always a reason and other times it's the parents' fault kind of. So you probably have to be Millionaire and also Evil for that. The next one is a panic room, but a panic room that is just like sort of like a disco themed. So it's like you'd go in there and you're just panic even more, I feel like. Because it's just like, oh my god, where am I? Ugh, you know? So that's going in my parents' evil. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then next up is a karaoke machine that's going in my parents' evil. You have to be evil to own a karaoke machine, but also I feel like my parents could probably afford that. I don't think they're that expensive. I don't really have a very good concept of what anything costs. It's a banana, Michael. What could it cost? $20?
I mean, it's one banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10?
I feel like because I don't really buy things other than like groceries, you know what I mean? I'm not really on the market for a hammock, so I don't really know what those cost. Well, I am sort of on the market for a hammock. Well, next up is that bitch from Robots, Roderick Heffley. I think that was his name. Yes. I don't really know what I was thinking when I don't really know. My parents could afford him probably. I don't think he's that expensive. So yeah, there's not Roderick Heffley. I'm thinking about that fucker from the movie. That other fucking so fucking stupid. I'm thinking about the fucking guy from The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I don't remember what his name is, but the fucking guy from Robots. Okay, I want to buy him and this little thing on my bloody belt. But mostly just him. I feel so maternal towards him. I hate when bitches say that. Like, it will be the most evil person you've ever met, and they'll be like, I feel so maternal towards him. And it's just like an old guy or some shit. I don't know, it pisses me off. It's the same as like those like, I could be a good mother. Whatever. Anyway, and then now we're going on to the evil, or like the now we're moving on to a different kind of thing. I don't know, whatever. Next up is 500 cigarettes. I don't smoke, okay? I just feel like you get so much like so many like social points for just like having cigarettes like at a party, just being, oh, well, anybody need a cigarette? I got 500. You know what I mean? That would just up my social stocks, I feel like. Right, raise my social stocks. So that if my parents could probably afford. Next up is just like liquor. Liquor is so expensive, it's crazy. Like alcohol is so expensive. So that's going in my parents as well. The next one was like hard drugs. Because I was I had the flu like a few weeks ago, right? I had the flu and I was thinking like if I was rich I could just like buy morphine to end my suffering. And so if I was rich, I would also be addicted to opioids. So that's going in millionaire neutral. Because you're not evil for being addicted. You're not. So yeah, that one's going there. Yeah. So okay. And so this is the final ranking. I'll put it here. My cat wants to be let in. Boy, what do you want? What do you want? Can you hear that? Whatever. Yeah, I feel like we learned a lot. No, we didn't. Then that's okay. Okay, that was it. Like and subscribe and stay tuned for my next video because it's actually gonna be like a good one and not one that I just sort of pulled out of my ass. You know, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be like good. I swear. So stay tuned and stay excited for that one. Like it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fucking great. Okay. Yeah. Bye.